Hey everyone, I just wanted to do a quick video. I wasn't intending on doing another one so soon, but I got bored and decided to watch a bunch of YouTube videos, and I guess got inspired to go ahead and do my gun talk. So, President Trump, I voted for the man. But, well, and I don't mind sharing this, and I think I could at least semi-defend my decisions. I voted for Ben Carson for the primary to be the candidate, the Republican candidate. For one, he's a man of faith. I think he was very knowledgeable. He was very articulate, and he listened, and I think that's what I liked about him most. He defended the Second Amendment. He was pro-life. And what I enjoyed most about him was if he didn't know something, he said, I don't know, but I will learn and I will find out. And I think he had a good idea to gather intelligent people to make decisions. Like I said, I voted for Trump, but Trump, man, quit making decisions based on just rash action. He's being inspired by these knee-jerk reactions, and the meeting that he had for the whole bipartisan deal, like that was crazy. That was crazy. And to the point that Dianne Feinstein was laughing and giggling like a giddy schoolgirl. And like Ben Shapiro said when he was talking about it, he said that, anytime you make her laugh and you're talking about gun control, you're probably doing something unconstitutional. And I gotta agree with that. I watched a bunch of Ben Shapiro shows today, and I'm kind of a new follower to him. I agree with a lot of what he says. There are a couple things I disagree with, but I think he as well, kind of like Ben Carson, is able to articulate really well. When he was talking at the TP in Nebraska, Turning Point USA, they were talking about the Second Amendment and what it means. He was talking about the right to have and bear arms, to form a well-regulated militia. And he was talking about regulation of that, and what firearms does that apply to, which ones does it not apply to, and he's like, sure, you shouldn't own nuclear warheads or bazookas, whatever. I did like, however, that he was able to articulate the idea that he had well. He had a feeling, he had an idea of how he felt about it, and he was able to articulate the definition of his feeling really well. And that's why I voted Ben Carson, because he was able to do that as well. You didn't question where the man stood. You didn't question what he knew. He was able to articulate what he felt and what he meant and what he believes. Very, very clear and very well. The example that I'm using for Ben Shapiro said, I'm paraphrasing out of memory, so bear with me. He didn't say, well, he said something to the effect of, it allows some regulation. It doesn't necessarily regulate, what guns you can have, what guns you can't have. But what it does protect is, you should have the firearms necessary in order to form a militia. So if you were to form a militia, whatever is necessary to be able to operate a well-regulated militia is what the Second Amendment should allow civilians to own. That's kind of what I took away from it. And I kind of agree to an extent. I do like a lot of his other definitions of things. And I'm not trying to make this video about Ben Shapiro, but he he defines a lot of things well, and I really like that. But Trump, dude, you got to learn to shut your mouth. My goodness, you got to learn how to shut your mouth. He's going to get himself in trouble, and I guarantee you, like, already, just with this nonsense, even if no gun control regulation is passed, right now, Republicans hold quite a bit of power. So hopefully it's all just going to be a wash. It's all going to be a bunch of, no. But he probably has lost, in the last 2 to 3 days, have probably lost the majority of his voter base. To the point that the NRA, who, was walking hand in hand with Trump, singing and dancing, is now at ends. The NRA is still scratching their head trying to figure out what he's doing. And it makes me worrisome. Not because, I'm not worried right now. The Republican power that's in place is going to prevent stupidity, I think, from happening for the moment. But what happens if next round it becomes a Democratic majority? If he says the crap then that he's saying now, we're going to be in a world of hurt. And we're going to start wondering about, is it time to defend our Constitution? Because it's leaning towards a gun registry. And I will not register my firearms. And the point of the Second Amendment, in order to form a militia, is, to defend against not only yourself, but tyranny as well. Part of what gives you power is the ignorance of your enemy. Like the Japanese, when they were talking about invading us, they're not going to do it. There's a gun behind every blade of grass. Good, For one, it keeps our enemies at bay. They think twice about, marching over here. And two, it keeps the government in check. I don't think the government's worried about civil war. And a lot of people are like, well, a civil war will never happen, this great big revolution will never happen, and all this other stuff. And I hope it doesn't. But I think the importance of the Second Amendment and the purpose of everybody owning a firearm is the worry of our enemy. And so the government, if they ever try a registry, they ever try gun confiscation of any sort, you got to kind of really weigh the pros and cons. And anybody who thinks, oh, well, we're just going to ban and confiscate guns, you got another thing coming. If you think you're going to peacefully go round up everybody's guns, you're naive and you're ignorant. You're going to have to send a SWAT team to every home. And after the first 100 people shoot back, it's all going to go to crap anyway. Cops are going to quit doing it. I'm going to say, no. You want their guns? You go get them. That's what I would do if I was a cop. And they told me to go, which is in line. So, I'm not a part of the 3%ers, but that they have a, what do you call it? Like a mission statement, a list of things they believe in, and a pledge, per se. And one of the things they say, because there's a lot of law enforcement in the 3%ers. I don't know if people know that. A lot of people think they're just crazy right-wing nut jobs, but no, not really. A lot of them are military or ex-military or law enforcement or ex-law enforcement. And their mission statement and their ideas are very constitutional driven and inspired. And you would take a pledge and you would say something to the nature of, I will never confiscate firearms for anybody that in violation of the Constitution. Like, I will never detain an American citizen unlawfully, and so forth. And I think a lot of police, if they ever ended up with a registry or confiscation or whatever the case may be, that's what's going to happen. A lot of the cops are going to say, no, you want their guns, you go get them. You drive down from Washington, D.C. out of your pretty little office, driving your $200,000 BMW home from your, $14 million home, and you go door to door and get guns. I wouldn't put my life on line for something unconstitutional for $36,000 a year. Yeah, because it's unconstitutional. Men and women of the military, I commend you. In a couple other videos, I said I was a U.S. Army veteran. You do a lot of stuff for little pay. Yeah, you get hazard pay, you get deployment pay, whatever. $40,000, $50,000 a year to spend a year at war is not okay. In my mind, in my book. And I think, and one of the reasons my heart goes out to the military is just simply because the majority of people that are there for patriotic reasons. They love this country. Granted, a lot of them are there because, employment sucked for a while, and, there's school opportunities and things, but nonetheless, you had the balls to go join the military to get those things. You got to at least like your country enough to do that. So, I commend you. I don't care why you're there. You had the guts to go do it. So thank you. And our law enforcement, our firefighters, our EMS, our teachers, everybody, thank you for what you're doing. And I don't know. I think I kind of veered from the gun talk. But it's alright. Yeah, but the point I was trying to make about the registry, it's obviously unconstitutional. If the government knows what you have, they have no reason to fear. They know where it's at and what it is. And there doesn't need to be a registry. A registry is the only way you're going to monitor private sales, is if there was a full registry. Man. And I'll tell you what, a buddy of mine on Facebook, and I hope you're watching this, give a good shout out to you, made a post on Facebook. I thought it was one of the clever things I read today. Dianne Feinstein, every time she opens her mouth, an AR-15 finds his way home, and that's hilarious. I like that. Another interesting fact that's gun related, because the Dianne Feinstein thing, that's a fact. Every time she opens her mouth, an AR-15 finds its way home. Another interesting fact that I found out today. So if you Google what is the number of guns per capita, countries ranked number of guns per capita, guess who's number one? Yeah, we are, by a landslide. In the United States, it is estimated that there are 101 guns for every 100 civilians. I like it. I like it. It's good. You get, everyone gets a gun. And then you got one to give to your buddy. I can't remember who was number two. I want to say Argentina. It was like 58.1 guns per 100 people. So 101 for every 100, 58.1 or 58.9 or whatever it was per 100 people. Just Google it. Fun fact of the day. It's a good time. Yeah. Anyway, there's my gun rant for the day. Thank you. Talk to you next time.